Kate Harding, Asking for It, The Alarming Rise of Rape Culture and What We Can Do About It. In the book Asking for It, The Alarming Rise of Rape Culture and What We Can Do About It, Kate Harding explores the disturbing culture of victim blaming and normalization of sexual abuse in modern society. This book summary will guide you through crucial discussions on how rape cases are often twisted to put the responsibility on victims, the social aspects of gang rape as a way for men to solidify their identity, the unhelpfulness of law enforcement in handling rape cases, the bleak statistics on rape convictions, and the role of media and society in perpetuating rape culture. Throughout the summary, we will analyze the gripping cases presented by the author and learn about the progressive ways to handle consent.
Twisted blame in rape culture. Imagine a court statement comparing an 11-year-old rape victim to a spider, drawing her rapist into her web, a shocking, but real-life example of the skewed perspective many have about rape. Instead of holding the attacker responsible, society often shames the victim, as was the case in a 2010 Cleveland, Texas trial. A young Latina girl, who had been repeatedly gang-raped, was criticized for wearing makeup instead of the attention being focused on her abusers. Even in a seemingly clear-cut case like this, the perpetrators were seen as victims by some, including a New York Times article portraying them as being seduced into such behavior. These distorted attitudes don't exist independently, they are a reflection of the pervasive rape culture that blames victims, absolves rapists, and normalizes sexual abuse. Questioning victim responsibility. Society often places the responsibility of preventing rape on women, instructing them to take precautions such as not going out alone at night, avoiding strangers, and dressing modestly. However, this mindset can be counterproductive, as it shifts the blame onto the victim and allows perpetrators to go unchecked. Restricting movements is an impractical solution, as determined attackers can still target cautious victims. The ultimate responsibility for rape prevention should lie with the potential offender, and society needs to modify its outlook in order to effectively combat this issue. From childhood, females are conditioned to protect themselves from men's potential advances. They receive countless guidelines and warnings, such as avoiding leaving home at night, steering clear of unknown men, and wearing modest attire. Nevertheless, enforcing this responsibility on women to prevent rape creates a detrimental mindset within society. For instance, police often advise women to limit their movements after incidents of rape. Imagine the 2012 situation in Minneapolis, where authorities urged women to avoid going out alone and to always be vigilant. Though seemingly sound, this advice can be ineffective, as rapists may still target even the most cautious individuals. Additionally, these suggestions place the onus of rape prevention on the victims, making it simpler for others to hold them accountable in case of an attack. Take the case of Jane Doe, who called a friend in anxiety when she noticed a stranger following her. Nevertheless, the man managed to assault her before anyone could come to her aid. Reports insinuated that Jane was partly at fault for not staying on the bus and telling the driver about her concerns. Blaming Jane in this scenario is entirely unjust, since she was precautious. This mentality about rape prevention needs to change. We should hold the attackers, not the victims, responsible. Rather than teach women to live in constant fear, society should focus on addressing the root causes of rape culture and fostering a safer environment for all. The dark side of group dynamics. A phenomenon persists among young individuals in which an individual is targeted by a group, facilitating group bonding. This dynamic poses dangers that manifest in extreme forms like gang rape, a heinous ritual that solidifies male identity at the expense of innocent victims. Anthropologist Peggy Reeves Sandy and journalist Bernard Lefkowitz both analyzed the social aspects of gang rape in their respective studies, finding that it serves to create close ties among perpetrators, while distancing them emotionally from their victims. Rape victims are not always women. Men perceived as outsiders or too feminine may also fall prey to such attacks, as was the case with a 13-year-old boy in 2012. The community's response often supports perpetrators, further highlighting the pervasiveness of rape culture, a distressing reminder of the dark underbelly of group dynamics. Uncovering rape culture. Imagine the terror a woman feels after being raped, now compounded by having to recount the traumatic event to a male authority figure. Fear and distrust often result in rape victims remaining silent. In 2010, a football player, Ben Roethlisberger, brought some college girls to a VIP room and then took one into a back room. The girl emerged in tears, claiming he had violated her. Though she and her friends reported the incident to the police, they faced skepticism and apathy from Sergeant Jerry Blash. Discrediting the victim's memory due to her alcohol consumption, Blash dismissed her claims and accused her of concocting the story. Other officers shared this view, and the victim ultimately decided not to press charges, losing faith in the police. Eventually, as the case became public, Blash resigned. This incident highlights the prevalent issue of rape culture, wherein victims are often met with disbelief and mistreatment at the hands of law enforcement, further exacerbating their trauma. The uphill battle for rape victims. In the scenes of TV court dramas, we often see defense attorneys demanding proof for crimes, something that is particularly difficult with rape cases. It's disheartening that only 12% of reported rape cases make it to court, and among these, 2/3 are dismissed against the victim's wishes. Why do so few cases result in justice for the victim? Prosecutors are hesitant to move forward because they lack confidence in the available evidence. To obtain a conviction, solid evidence like video footage or serious injuries is needed, but it's rarely available. If a case does make it to trial, cultural biases against slutty women may influence jury members, further diminishing the chances for a fair outcome. With only 6% of rapists ever facing trial, the burden of proof in the American criminal justice system significantly challenges any opportunity for justice. The struggle with rape prosecution. Ever seen a court drama where a defense attorney yells about needing proof in a rape case? Unfortunately, reality can be quite similar, as rape is challenging to prove. The National Crime Victimization Survey reveals a mere 12% of such perpetrators are arrested, and many cases never reach prosecutors. Even then, victims rarely find justice, as 2/3 of cases are dismissed, often against the victim's wishes. A dismal 6% of rapists face trial, primarily because prosecutors doubt whether they have enough convincing evidence. Victims are frequently blamed, and the jury may harbor a cultural bias against them. The heavy burden of proof in the American justice system contributes to the continuation of this unjust reality. Normalizing sexual violence. The internet is rife with pornography, often featuring passive participants who seem to endure the sexual act, a depiction that borders on rape. However, the normalization of sexual violence isn't solely a product of explicit content. Mainstream media plays a major role as well. Take, for instance, the 2008 Mad Men episode where Joan Holloway is raped by her boyfriend, Greg. Many viewers failed to recognize the scene as rape, revealing a concerning societal perspective on such occurrences. Similarly, in Tyler Perry's 2013 film, Temptation, Confessions of a Marriage Counselor, the protagonist Judith is overpowered by a client who then becomes her boyfriend, perpetuating the misguided belief that women desire such actions. It is crucial to reevaluate these representations and confront the manner in which media inadvertently or intentionally glorifies and normalizes sexual violence. Embracing positive consent. Envision a relationship where both partners constantly ask for consent before taking each step in their intimate journey. Though some might find it peculiar, it reflects an increasingly progressive mindset surrounding consent. Shifting the focus from the traditional "no means no" approach, a "yes means yes" stance encourages an affirmative and ongoing consensus between partners. This change fosters a healthier, more open dialogue around consensual intimacy, and the 2014 California law supporting this view even grants financial aid to colleges advocating such standards. Progressive media, like the Mindy Project, have also started to highlight consensual relationships, opening the door to a safer, more discerning standard for intimate encounters worldwide.
In conclusion, the book Asking for It sheds light on the alarming prevalence of rape culture in our society and how it manifests in victim blaming, the disturbing rituals of gang rape, the failures of our legal system, and the portrayal of sexual violence in media. Kate Harding emphasizes the importance of acknowledging these issues and adopting progressive ideas about consent to combat this growing problem. By understanding the systemic issues contributing to the normalization of sexual abuse, and ensuring that we progress towards healthy and consensual relationships, we can strive to tackle this toxic culture and create a safer environment for everyone.